Okay, here we go, second video of the week. Hope the multiplying algebraic terms went well. So what we're going to work on today is distributive property, more multiplying. So here's the rule. I'll read it, but it'll make a lot more sense when we do the examples. So when there's a number in front of a bracket, you multiply everything inside the bracket by the number out front. For example, 2 times 3x minus 4y. Okay, what I recommend people do is they take that number that's out front and draw an arrow to everything that's inside the bracket. So here's the first term in the bracket, the second term. If there is a third term in the bracket, there would be another arrow, okay? What the arrows remind us of is that this 2 is going to get multiplied first by the 3x, and then it's going to get multiplied by the 4y. So what it will look like is 2 times 3x. If it helps, do the workout here. So 2 times 3x, we multiply 2 times 3x is 6x. Okay, that's from last lesson. So our first term would be 6x in our answer. The second arrow is 2 times, do it like this, times negative 4y. Okay, that's my second arrow. So 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, and don't forget the y. Okay, so that is the second term in my answer. That's it. You can't collect like terms because the x and the y are different variables, so we can't add or subtract them. So this is our answer. That's where it stops. Okay, so let's go through a couple examples and just give this a shot. Okay, so that's example number 1. Number 2. Okay, so try this, pause, and then play so that you can check your answer. So 3 times x plus 2. Okay, I will put my arrows to remind me that the 3 gets multiplied by both terms inside the brackets. So 3 times x, you're just going to smush those together. It becomes 3x. Okay, so my first term here is 3x. 3 times 2 is just 3 times 2, so 6. And it's positive, so plus 6. Okay? That's the answer. Okay, example number 3. What if out front of the brackets there's also a variable? Okay, so give it a shot and then check your answer. So my arrows, I'm going to multiply the 2y by y, and I'm going to multiply the 2y by 3. When you write it over here, it's basically exactly like what we were doing last lesson, where we're multiplying monomials, okay? So my first arrow is 2y times y. Well, 2 times, there's an imaginary 1 in front, is just 2. Y times y, this has a 1 and this has a 1. And recall from the last lesson, we add the exponents. So that becomes 2y squared. So my first term in my answer is 2y squared. My second arrow is 2y times 3. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, and don't forget the y. Okay, so then just plus 6y. So that should be your answer to that. The more of this, just like anything with math, the more you practice, the easier it will feel. So I've got a couple more examples for you before you get into your worksheet. Let's try this one here. This will be example number 4. So negative 3t cubed plus 4t squared. Okay, so you can pause it. Answer, I'm going to set up my arrows. Some of you will do this every time. Some of you will not. Okay, but as long as you are remembering every single time to multiply that number out in front by both terms, or if there's 3 terms, by everything inside the brackets. It's okay, okay? But the arrows do often help us to remind us that we need to multiply by both terms, okay? So my first arrow is negative 3t, so I'll do my rough work over here, negative 3t times 3t cubed. Okay, so you did a lot of examples like this on your worksheet from the last lesson. So negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. And then t, this has an exponent of 1. So 1 plus 3 is t to the power 4. Okay, so my first term for my first arrow is negative 9t to the power 4. My second arrow is negative 3t times 4t squared. Okay, negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. That has a 1, so t, it's going to be t cubed, 1 plus 2. So, and it's negative, so it's going to be minus 12t cubed. Okay, should we do one more? Why not? How about this one? So number 5, 5a times 2a squared minus 3a plus 4. Okay, so of course you've pushed pause and you're back for the answer. So arrows, I've got the 5a times the first term times the second term, and in this case also times the third term. Okay, 3 arrows should end up with 3 terms, just like 2 arrows here gave me 2 terms in the answer. I should have 3 terms in the answer for this one. My first arrow for my rough work over here is 5a times 2a squared. So 5 times 2 is 10. Oh, right here first. 10, and then a1, a2, that's a cubed. Okay, so 10a cubed. That's my first term, first arrow. 5a times negative 3a. Okay, so 5 times negative 3 is negative 15, and that's going to be a squared. So minus 15a squared. My last arrow is 5a times 4. 5 times 4 is 20, and we can't, 20, and we can't forget the a. 20a, so this should end with 20a. That's it. So as you go through these lessons and you try the worksheets, if you get to the worksheets and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, watch the video again and slow it down. Okay, try the examples, make sure you're getting them right. If you didn't get them right, watch the answer a couple times and follow through and see if it can start to make sense after you've watched the video a couple times. Okay, I hope you're all doing well, and let me know if you have any problems.